Welcome to the Hiker YouTube channel. If you've not been here before, if you have been here before, welcome back. Well, what are we up to now? Well, day one of the Augustin Camino. This is a route that takes us from Rochester Cathedral, as you can see over my shoulder, all the way down to Ramsgate, some 84 miles. So over the next several weeks, we'll be doing sections of the Camino. So it's not a bad day today, and we're going to get started. We're going today from Rochester down to Aylesford Priory, and along that route we've got the cathedral, obviously behind me. Just in front of me, I'll show you in a minute, we've got the Rochester Castle. If you've seen some of the back catalogue of the films, you will see that we've done a little bit about the Rochester Castle and we've done some stuff about the cathedral. But just as a reminder, the cathedral was actually built, it's actually established on the ground in AD 604, and that was when it became consecrated ground. I think it was around about the 12th century when they actually built that magnificent building and finished it somewhere around the 17th or 18th century. So Augustine, who was St. Augustine? Well, he was a geezer from the mainland that was sent over by the Pope around about 604 AD. And he came over to sort out the English, or the Anglo-Saxon heathens that was over here. He came over to spread the word of Christianity and became the first archbishop of this here cathedral. Over the next few weeks we'll tell you a bit more about St. Augustine and some of the more prominent points along the route, and some of the churches along there. Especially when we get down into to Canterbury, and then to the shrine of St. Augustine, which is down in Ramsgate. So it's a bit of a pilgrimage all the way down there. For us, it's not a religious trip. I'm not going to find myself or anything like that. It looks like a good trail, but you know, who knows? We'll see what happens at the very end of it. But yeah, so if you go look at some of the back catalogue, there's a few stories around the castle, a little bit about the hauntings and who built it and when it was built. But again, it's a cracking day out down here. And then you've got the cathedral itself. So built by Gundulf, the same as the castle. Absolutely superb. We can't get in the cathedral at the moment because there's a service going on. So who have we got with us today? How are you doing?
Good, thank you.
Excellent. Looking forward to the trail?
Yeah, something new, fresh, brand new trail. So yeah, just
Good,
having
good.
some caffeine before we get started.
Fantastic. So this trail takes us down through the backbone of the Kent countryside, through the Pilgrim's Way, across the North Downs and around there. So it's quite a trail. Looking forward to it. So over the next several weeks, we're going to do it in bite-sized chunks. So it should be good. Looking forward to it. So as you leave the cathedral via the west door, which is the main entrance, just follow the road up and then walk down the left-hand side of the castle. And then that takes you down towards the river. Get to the river, turn left, walk all the way along there, go through Borstal Woods, and then I'll show you what that looks like at the other end in a little bit. But yeah, as you can see, it's a bit grey today, but there was no frost this morning. We've had a tidy old bit of weather just lately. Yeah. But the castle's magnificent. You can see the castle just over my shoulder there. Absolutely magnificent building. I say Rochester, if you ever come down to it, is a great day out. There's loads to do, loads to see. So go through the back videos. I think it was a Saxon Shore, Rochester to somewhere. Can't remember where, but yeah, go and have a look. So I get distracted because there's some squirrels playing over there. A pair of them. Quite funny. So once you've walked along the Esplanade, you come into what they call Batters Woods, which is Borstal Recreation Ground. And then you walk through the field, and then you start to pick up the signs. You start to pick up the signs for the Augustin Camino. So this is where you come through. You come through that way. You'll come up to the sign, which is Borstal Recreation Ground. Still got a river to your right hand side. and that's where we're going through. Batty's Marsh, all sounds a bit dodgy to me. And when you walk through, come across the very first one of, you'll recognise one of the signs, I'm sure, but the Augustin Camino, and then just above that is the 1066 walk. So we have walked this way before on the 1066. So once you come out of the woods, you go past Beacon Boatyard, come down the little roadway, past the bushes, and you'll see the boatway goes off to the right. Our path actually goes off to the left. So it's right way through the field, cross over the road, down by the boatyard, and then take the left-hand footpath. Quite a pleasant walk so far this morning. Only been out probably about an hour after a lot of faffing around this morning, but yeah, quite pleasant. And when you come around this way, there's a road off to the left. You can take that road and it takes you around the back of the estate, or you just continue down this footpath. We're going to continue down the footpath. Anyone that's actually interested in doing the Rochester to Maidstone, this is one of the paths you take. And you can do it by push bike if you so wish. But just up ahead up here, we veer off to the left, whereas the river path continues down on the right. So it's a bit windy. Something that absolutely angers me. I mean, there is no need for that. Foster's cans. There's that side, there's a load over the other side as well. Animals, absolute animals. Rubbish hanging off the, it's just disgusting. Again, once you come up to this path, come to another marker sign, which pushes you to the left for 1066, the Camino, the Medway Valley Walk. There is another path that runs down there. You can go down there and it takes you right to the bottom of a hill. But we're going to take this way, up along here. And as you come down here, you'll see the squirrels all playing in the trees once again. I don't know if you can see that, there's one up there running around. Once you come out with them footpaths, just keep going and going and going. Go up a dirty great big hill and then you come out onto the main road, which is Warden Road. Once you get to the top of there, you'll see Warden Road. Turn right, there is a Medway Valley sign there with a small Camino sticker on it. And you start heading back down the road. So once you go down Walden Road, you go under the motorway bridge, and as you go under the motorway bridge, directly on your left hand side, there's a lane there called Nashdene Lane. Nashdene Farm Lane, something like that, you'll get it. Anyway, you go down there and follow a tarmac road all the way along until you come to a right hand turn by the farm, which I'll show you. So once you walk up that road, you walk down here and you'll see some buildings, and then that's Nashdene Farm, and then you walk between the buildings, keep following the road, go up over the railway, and then you're on the North Downs, so it's a bit of a climb from there. Oh, well, there you have it. That was a long way up. So if I sound like Darth Vader, it's because we've just walked up a bloody great big hill, which is just coming up to Bluebell Hill. But fantastic view all around us. So you can see the motorway in the distance. Way over back there is where we started. The ridge over there is Shaun Country Park, where we've been a few times, and the Medway running along there. So yeah, quite a bit of ground gained coming up that hill. So you continue walking straight, just keep going straight and uphill, and uphill, and a bit more uphill, and a bit more uphill. You go through some woods, through what looks like a bit of green lane. Keep going, keep moving, and eventually you'll come up onto a sign for the Robin Hood pub and a driveway. Go past there about 200 yards and you'll come to a track. I'll ping you around in a minute and show you the track. Just be a bit careful when you're coming through there, especially through the green lane. We've met up with loads of push bikes, loads of dirt bikes, motorbikes coming through there at speed. And when you get past there as well, you get onto the tarmac road, and as you probably just heard going behind me, there was a car going down there, and they don't slow down at all. But there's lots of horses down there as well, so it's just a pretty walk. We stopped off and grabbed a bite to eat, just sitting by the horse field there, which was pretty good. And then hopefully we've got to start heading downhill. We're probably at the highest point of the day today. Hopefully we'll start going downhill. So this is the tarmac road that you walk up and keep going and going and going. So you come to this big block there, just before you get to the houses. There's a sign there which takes you down this hill. Which, how you getting on, Noxie?
Okay.
Yeah?
A lot of hill walking, but like you say, it was nice, pretty walk, lots of great views, so yeah, excited to head down now, downhill for a bit.
So that's a bit of a welcome sight. First bit of downhill in the last 3 miles. If you're into your wildlife on this trail, there's loads of it about. I've seen loads of horses, squirrels, and a load of different birds on the trail. So it's worth bringing a set of binos out with you. So it's still going strong. You come down that hill and it's quite a quick and steep hill coming down, very rough underfoot. I would say if it's been raining, you could be in trouble. Just keep following it, keep following it, keep going and going and going, follow your nose. And then you'll come to some houses. And then just before the houses, if the houses come into view, you've gone too far. So just before them, there's a footpath that takes you off to the left. And then you walk down there and that winds its way back down through. But been really lucky today with the weather. It's looking pretty fine. It's not a bad trail. What I will say about the trail is you can get a guidebook for this trail, which isn't bad. It gives you a rough idea of where it is. The signposts for it are a bit shady, to be fair. They're very small stickers stuck onto posts with no real directional arrows. You kind of just have to use your loaf of which way you're going. But yeah, on the whole, it's a different walk. I've not been round this way before, around the Bluebell Hill area. So yeah, it's quite nice. Recommended so far. So once you turn down that lane, keep going down that lane, it's a bit sneaky because there's a set of stairs that are there, or steps, which are quite steep. Go up them, follow it through, you come to a T-junction, turn right, and then follow that all the way down to the road, and the road's down a distance. Down there, turn left, go about 25 yards down that road, cross over, and there's another lane there that you go down. So this is the road you come out on. It's a busy old road, I know it from old, and it's, yeah, be really careful when you come down this way. So that's where we're heading, down Ball Lane. And it pretty much is a straight road all the way there, right through to the Priory. So yeah, all the way down now. So as you go to Ball Lane, there is a path that takes you away from the main road, which is a good job really, because that is a proper busy road. Once you come down Ball Lane, it's pretty easy to walk down there. It's a flat path, easy walking. You come into a little village of Eccles, go through Eccles, and then I think we've got about a mile and a half, something like that, to do before we get to the Priory. So all in all, not a bad little trek. One thing to point out is if you do this stretch, make sure you take your scoff and your water and stuff with you, because I've seen very, very little en route where you could get anything. There's a couple of pubs en route. If they're open, you might be able to get something in there. But actual convenience stores, I've seen none of them en route. So just be mindful of that fact. And even coming down for Eccles, to be fair, I've not seen anything yet. But we're only kind of halfway down through it. But yeah, it's been a good trek so far. Enjoyable. It's a bit of an eye opener to get on there for the hills. We haven't done hills for a little while. But yeah, it's all good. So it's a nice little start to a Camino. Yeah, enjoyable. What I've got to do when we get back is go back to the cathedral. We've got a guidebook and they're called the Camino passports, which you can get online or you can pick up at the cathedrals. And what you do is en route, there's certain places, certain churches and places of interest where you can get a stamp done. So yeah, so hoping to get a stamp in the Priory. If I do, show you. And then on my way back, because my car's parked in Rochester, I'll hopefully nip into the cathedral if I'm there before 4 o'clock and get a stamp. If not, I'm going to have to make another trip at some other point. But actually, looking at the train times a minute ago, I think I'm going to be quite pushed to actually get there by then. But it is what it is. I'm sure that I can go get it done another time. So yeah, about another mile and a bit to do. So here we are at the Friars. Priory at Aylesford. We'll go this way. As soon as we walk this way, we will pop in and have a quick butcher's at what's going on. And if we're lucky when we get there, Noakesy might give us a bit of a history lesson on the Priory. As you come down the driveway, there is a tea room and gift shop there, which we'll be heading to in a second. Not sure where everything else is. You know, I've never visited this place, but I'm told it is a cracking day out. So there's the Peace Garden. Plenty of wildlife in the background. And we look there, it's a bit of an amphitheatre come service area. Quite a big place. And lots to do. Stunning. This is where I try and get near the ducks and get attacked. There you see him, a bit of a bruiser. I think he's an Egyptian duck, maybe. I don't know if his mate is in the background, but looks like he's been in a scrap or two. And the rest of the duck pond. So I believe this is what they call Pilgrim's Hall around here. huge. So Aylesford Priory, or the Friars to give its traditional name, was founded in 1242 when the first Carmelites arrived here from Mount Carmel in the Holy Land. They came under the patronage of Richard de Grey, a crusader, who gave them a small piece of land from his estate in Aylesford. In 1247, the Bishop of Rochester, Richard of Wendover, officially recognised the Carmelite foundation at Aylesford, and the first general chapter of the order outside the Holy Land potentially would have been held here. There you go, a brief history of the priory. It's still a working priory, apparently. There still are monks that roam around here. But yeah, what a beautiful place. So just see this, if it bubbles when we go there. It's the holy water. I didn't put my hands in it. Well, that's that stretch of the Augustin Camino done. Come to the Friars, go and have a look around. It's a fantastic place, a beautiful building, especially if you're into that kind of stuff. So went down and got my passport stamped. I'll throw a picture of that up in a bit. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get back to the cathedral in time to get that one done, but I can go and get it done at another time. So yeah, all good. Right now it's time to hot foot it back to train station and get a train back to good old Strood or Rochester. Right, Nosy, this is where we go separate ways, so I'm going to get on the train. How was your day today?
Yeah, really good, thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed that stretch. Everything a little bit different, so looking forward to doing the next stretch in a couple of weeks.
Excellent. Right, I'm going to get on the train and
see you later.
See you later. Well, here's a note to self. Don't rely on southeastern railways because they have a tendency of cancelling trains on you. My luck. So, sitting in a railway station, just waiting for the train. So, what I think I'm going to do is I think I'll end the video here, because by the time I get back to my car, I think it'll be getting a bit dark and I'll probably be a bit angry. So, listen, great trail, bit sketchy on the old signage, so you need to have a look at that. The Priory is great, beautiful Priory, and so is the cathedral. Get yourself a guidebook, go and get your stamps. Got a stamp when we was in the Priory, so that's great. And then it's a fair old walk down to the station, but we're here now, just wait for that train to come along. Anyway, you know the drill, as always. Stay safe, be lucky, get outdoors and have some fun, yeah? It's a great time to be out. It's fantastic for the body and the soul. I said it's not a spiritual journey, it's not a spiritual journey. But listen, walking's great for the mental health, and just to get out and relax and chill a bit. Come and find us on Facebook. Come and join us on one of these legs. I think I'll put it on our Facebook page as well. If you want to come and join in, do one of these legs with us, come out and do a bit of hiking, give us a shout. I'd love to have more people come down and join us. The more the merrier. Always have a bit of a giggle when we can. And listen, for now, I'm going to chip off. So once again, stay safe, yeah, be lucky, get outdoors, and I'll speak to you all very, very soon.